Hello there and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review of the brand new HYDRAMANIAC foundation by Urban Decay. Was I in need of another foundation? No, but there was something about the description and just like the claims of this foundation, there was just something there that was like pulling me in. And honestly, like on paper, this foundation just sounds like an absolute dream. It just sounds like this foundation has been created just for me, to serve me, to just make me glow to the gods while staying very hydrated. There was just something about this foundation that I just had to try for myself. So this foundation arrived in like, oh my gosh, so fast. I ordered it like late night, of course, although I didn't really need to justify it much to myself, but I ordered it late night. She was with me 2 days later. I was just like, wow, go girlfriend, you put your skates on for this. But again, maybe she was just creative for me. And she was like, oh yeah, I've already got my skates on because I knew you were going to be purchasing me. This is what the foundation looks like. It comes in a squeezy tube. It costs £29 and it comes in 12 different shades. I know that in this day and age, 12 shades doesn't really sound that extensive. To be honest, I do feel like this foundation is a little bit confused. Like, is she a foundation? Is she a tinted moisturizer? Because I'm going to read out the description to you in just a minute so that you can kind of see what I mean. But I definitely do get the feeling that yes, she is a foundation. Yes, she will give you a buildable medium coverage, but she's also extremely hydrating for your skin, extremely lightweight, and she's also got ingredients in her which are said to be very nourishing and just, you know, all round very beneficial to the skin, but specifically to keeping the skin hydrated. I got the shade 30 Light. This is the third from the lightest, and okay, sneak peek. I feel a bit guilty saying this now, but I did try her yesterday because I couldn't contain my excitement. I was just so desperate to give her a go. I just popped her on and I wore her for just a few hours. The shade actually seems to be really, really good. But anyway, I'm going off track. I am going to read you out the description of the foundation and then we can apply her. As always with my foundation reviews, I do like to wear a foundation over the course of a few days just so that I can really get a good understanding of her good points, of her bad points, kind of understand how to get the best out of her. I will be wearing her over the next few days and then I will be coming back at the end of the video and giving you my final thoughts. With all that being said, I'm going to jump straight into the description. Okay, so it claims that this foundation gives you a long wear tinted glow. It's infused with kombucha filtrate and marula oil. So I did do a little bit of research last night. I know, can you actually believe it? A, I did research, and B, I actually know the benefits of ingredients in a foundation. Because yeah, I always feel like, you know, other YouTubers are so slick because they just seem to know everything about every ingredient or every fruit extract that goes into a foundation and why brands would have picked those extracts. And I always just think, wow, like, how do you even know that? So anyway, I just thought today I am going to keep up with the Joneses on YouTube and I'm going to find out. So apparently kombucha not only detoxifies the skin, but it hydrates it and it improves skin elasticity over time. It also improves skin tone, texture and clarity as it brightens the skin. Kombucha is also an active ingredient and combats the appearance of wrinkles and fine lines. Like, how am I only just finding out about this now? Like, why do none of my moisturizers contain kombucha? Because it seems like such a powerful ingredient. The only other time I've tried kombucha is in a drink and I almost threw up because it just tasted like, well, I mean, it is fermented gut type things. It's fermented, and that word I do not want to see feature on anything I'm about to put in my body. But you know what, I'll happily glaze it all over my face. If it makes me look 21 again, it's fine. Marula oil is apparently a multitasking power player. Not only will it hydrate your skin, it also protects against UV rays and helps to diminish the look of dark spots over time. I think that both of those ingredients do actually sound like they would serve a real purpose being infused within this foundation, and it definitely makes me even more excited about the foundation. So in the description here, and this is partly why I think there's, probably only in my mind, but I think there's a bit of confusion as to whether, is this product, is it a foundation or is it skincare? Is it a moisturiser? Is it tinted moisturiser? And maybe they've just not wanted to necessarily call it tinted moisturiser because maybe foundations tend to sell a lot more than tinted moisturisers. I just don't know. They basically say here to ditch your moisturiser, HYDRAMANIAC's weightless formula gives you buildable medium coverage that's crazy good for your skin. It's got the intense hydration of a dewy tinted moisturiser and the long wear coverage of a 24-hour foundation. But like, I've got the Laura Mercier tinted moisturiser and that's long wear, but it still calls itself tinted moisturiser, you know what I mean? I think we're probably going to just be able to judge whether this is a foundation or not by, I suppose, how much coverage it has. And do you know what it says here, which I think is a little bit cheeky? It says, now you look like you got a deep fresh glow that makes you look like you finally drank enough water. I mean, that's just taking the piss. I drink about 9 cups of water a day, and like, I am serious about my intake of water, and I think they're actually taking the piss there to make it look like you actually drank enough water. It's like, oh, excuse you, Urban Decay. Excuse you. Geez, you might not drink enough water, but I definitely do. And I know that many others take it seriously too. It just says the lineup of 12 flexible shades. See, I think that's how they're getting around maybe not having more shades. They're calling them flexible shades. It says that you can use the different shades flexibly. You can use a couple of shades lighter to create a highlight. You can use a couple of shades deeper to create a natural contour. So I don't know, that's what they're saying about the lack of shades. You could just use lots of different shades, spend all your money on every single shade, and then you won't have any money to pay your water bill. So your water bill is going to be cut off. So you won't be able to drink any water. Not that you were drinking it anyway, but don't worry, because you now don't have to drink water because our foundation is going to make it look like you drank enough water. So I think that's maybe their plan. Also, just to mention that this is a vegan formula, so it's not been created using any ingredients that have been derived from animals, which I think is brilliant. Urban Decay do advise that you use your fingers to apply this foundation. I know that there's going to be a lot of probably professional makeup artists who will balk at that idea. They'll be like, oh, by the way, I don't know if balk is that a word or did I just make it up? I don't know, it sounded right, but anyway, there's going to be lots of makeup professionals that won't like the idea of applying a product with their fingers, because if they're working on clients, they want to use sanitised brushes, especially in this day and age with the pandemic that we've got going on. So I also know that there's a lot of just amateur makeup junkies who people just don't tend to like to use their fingers to apply makeup generally. Personally, I don't mind. As I said, I did try this foundation on yesterday, so this is not completely all new to me, but yeah, we're going to pretend that I didn't try it on yesterday for the purposes of this first impression. But I've got dry skin. Yeah, I definitely do find that a lot of foundations can just feel so uncomfortable on my face because of my dry skin. So excited to see if this foundation is actually going to live up to its extensive hydration claims. So anyway, I'm just going to squeeze a little bit onto my hand. Also, just to let you know that I did notice that when I applied this product yesterday, you only seem to need a small amount. The product does actually, it goes a long way. It's not one of those, thicker kind of foundation consistencies that you can only work in small sections with because it will not spread easily. But this one, for me, is definitely one that you can kind of apply it as if it were a moisturiser, really, which I like. And I definitely think that you could build this up to being whatever type of coverage you wanted, with the exception of a high coverage. Like, I don't think you're probably ever going to get high coverage from her, but I think yesterday I managed to achieve quite a satisfactory medium coverage. I think coverage is quite a subjective term as well, because there's no real measure on, how does a full coverage look? How does light coverage look? And I think, depending on the quality, not the quality of your skin, but depending on you know, if you have particularly problematic skin or if you have very easy skin, I think different coverages can look completely different on different people anyway. Okay, so this is going on really, really nicely. It just kind of feels like a moisturizer application. There's certainly no issues with how it's, you know, blending or anything like that. Also, I'm so happy that this shade actually worked out for me. I obviously picked this out online, which is just a minefield when trying to, you know, match your shades. But Urban Decay did have an extremely helpful kind of shade finder tool, which I'm actually realising now is pretty universal across the board of, like, you know, higher end and even drugstore brands. They've come a long way with the technology, and even on Urban Decay's website they had a shade matcher for, you know, all of their coloured glide on eyeliners, which I thought was really, really helpful. And actually I got a bit carried away just sitting there, like trying out like the blue, the orange, the yellow, the purple, the red. It was kind of quite a lot of fun actually, just trying out all the different products on my face. So I would definitely recommend, if you're considering buying this product, definitely go and have a look on the shade finder tool on their official website, because it does actually help. I was stuck between this shade, which is 30, and shade 20, which is the second lightest, and I'm actually really, really pleased that I went for this, because I've not got any tan on whatsoever right now, and I think that this, I think it matches me really well, so I'm glad I didn't go for the lighter one. I tend to be shade vanilla in, you know, kind of drugstore foundations, so if that can give you an indication as to what shade 30 maybe for you. Okay, so I've completed this one side of my face. This is what my face is looking like without any of the product on. I do have quite a lot of like redness. I have very enlarged pores, and I do have definite texture on my chin, but also I have old scars from acne, because I did used to struggle with that really badly on my chin. So yeah, I just want to show you what my skin looks like before I apply the foundation, and then this is the skin after the foundation has been applied. I think it does look very smooth. It has this real beautiful natural glow to it. It looks very natural. Like, I don't think you would look at, you know, this side of my face and really think I've got foundation on. And it's definitely done a good job of covering up the redness that I've got, particularly like, you know, around my smile lines, you know, on my chin. I think, you know, you would agree that that redness has kind of been, it's been dissipated, and I wish it would stay dissipated, honestly. I still have a substantial amount of the product left that I applied to my hand. I only used about half of the amount that I squeezed out, so yeah, it definitely does go a long way. I'm going to complete the other side of my face. I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup, and then I'll be back to let you know how the product is feeling on my skin. As I've got a little bit of the foundation left, I just thought I may just build up certain areas. So I did notice that this side is a little bit full of coverage. So I'm just going to try and build this right hand side up just a little bit more. I do find that, you know, as opposed to like rubbing this into the skin, for me, I seem to get the best results when I just kind of glide, you know, my finger just over my skin. Okay, so just before I go in with the rest of my makeup and set my face, I just wanted to show you how the foundation looks. I think it's just got this such a beautiful kind of glow. I mean, I don't think they were necessarily lying when they said that, you know, your skin will be glowing with health and it'll just look super hydrated, because I actually definitely do agree with that, and I do feel like it's just made my skin look like it's full of life. So I am absolutely loving the way that this product is looking on my skin. I'm not a huge fan of high coverage foundations anyway. As I'm getting older, I definitely do prefer a lighter to medium coverage, and I would say that this one is, for me, in my opinion, it's kind of pushing on a medium coverage. But if you do like a heavier kind of coverage, then yeah, I'm not necessarily sure that this foundation would be for you, because I definitely do think that this is more focused on a lighter to getting up to medium coverage. when I tried this foundation yesterday, I didn't put any powder on it whatsoever. I didn't put any other product on top of the foundation, and it just seemed to set, and I didn't have any kind of real issues with it, you know, kind of melting into fine lines or anything. But for the purposes of this video today, I am going to set my face minimally. Okay, so I have finished off the rest of my makeup. I absolutely love how this product looks. I mean, I just think my whole face looks so glowy, and yes, of course I've applied some highlighter, so yeah, we definitely do have a little bit of an additional glow element going on. But I just think, like, on my chin I've not applied any highlighter, on my forehead I've not applied any highlighter, and I just feel like my skin is just full of life. I've just always had this real dream to have like super dewy skin, and I actually feel like those dreams are being realised today. And just look at how dewy and hydrated my forehead looks. I mean, my forehead is totally living its best life right now. So far, like, this foundation it seems to be like answering all of my dreams. I definitely do need to see how it performs like over a longer period of time, but right now I can tell you that it just feels really comfortable. It kind of feels very similar to if you apply your moisturizer. I can definitely feel it on my face, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable. Like, my skin feels very moisturized, and also like a little bit tingly, you know, like if you were to apply, say, tea tree oil to your face or peppermint kind of oil to your face, and your face just feels very fresh and tingly. That's kind of how my skin feels right now. It's definitely like not a bad tingle, it's a good tingle. This is a definite amazing tingle we've got going on. Actually, I don't think there's any such thing as a bad tingle. I feel like all tingles are good tingles, you know. There's never been a tingle I've met that I wanted to say goodbye to. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about tingles now. I'm just so excited for this foundation. I truly think it looks beautiful. It definitely has lived up to the claims so far in its description, which is very rare for any kind of makeup product, let's face it. Mascara descriptions, I am definitely looking at to you. Anyway, yeah, guys, I'm so excited, but I am going to go now because otherwise I could just keep talking about this for ages. I am going to be wearing this over the next few days, so if I've got anything pertinent to update you about, you will see me, like, I'll do some little clips. But other than that, I'll be back at the end of the video to let you know what my final thoughts are on this product. Please be good. Hello there. So it's the end of day one. I know I did wear the foundation before, but this is the official day one of testing. So I've had the foundation on for around 7.5 hours today. It's getting late, so I'm just about to go and wash the foundation off my face. So I just wanted to take an opportunity to see how it's looking. It's feeling wonderful. Like, I kind of forgot I even had a full face of makeup on because my face was just feeling so comfortable. So anyway, let me just have a look in the mirror of truth. So, okay, do you know what? Everything looks fabulous. Oh, even my chin area. And usually my chin area I really struggle with, because I've got a lot of texture on my chin. It's a problem area. I do find that foundations can cling to different areas of it. It can also create this quite dry and scaly looking appearance. So I'm really actually delighted to see that this foundation has not done that. If I come closer and just show you, you can see it's actually looking really good. I've still got that beautiful glow. I would say, if anything, I'm potentially a little bit oily just around my nose and maybe on my forehead. I have been sat in an extremely hot office most of the day. It's just been overheated today, so even though it's the depths of winter, I've actually been quite warm today. So yeah, I can kind of see that I am looking a little bit oily just around my nose, but coming from a place of a dry-skinned individual, I don't mind that at all. I don't mind getting oily, so that's fine. And I just think everything looks so good. I've also been touching my chin all day because I just have a tendency to do that. I think it's a human trait that we just want to touch our chins at all times. I'm pleased to say that I don't actually think that the foundation has transferred off that much. It definitely, you know, you can kind of see where maybe the foundation, it's not looking as perfect as it once was. But I mean, if you only knew the amount of times I touched my chin, honestly, you'd be amazed. Oh my gosh, the end of day one, I am absolutely full of excitement. I was thinking excitement, delightment, happiness, just all of the good words I can think of. I'm just full of everything that's good right now. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to be wearing the foundation again tomorrow. If I do feel like I need to check in, show you anything, mention anything, then of course I will. But yeah, oh my gosh, I love this foundation so much. Ah! Okay, so it's the next day and I really wanted to see how this foundation actually applied using a beauty sponge, because I just know that applying foundation with your fingers isn't really the preference for a lot of people. So I just wanted to put this to the test. Because say, for example, if you're someone that would not want to use their fingers, but you would like to try this product, this may answer the question, but could you apply it with a sponge and would it look good? Because I don't imagine it would really make it not look good. I just think that when you apply a product with your fingers, you get a lot more coverage than when you use a sponge. So I don't know, maybe that's why they recommend that. I'm going to pop a bit up there, a bit there, a bit there and a bit there, and I have actually applied more than I would have done if I were applying it with my fingers. So I'm just going to start off on my chin, and if it looks terrible then I can just go back to the fingers, you know. Do you know what? This is actually applying really beautifully. Yeah, do you know what? I'd say this applies absolutely fine with a sponge. And I actually think I've got maybe more coverage than when I use my fingers. Maybe it's just because I've applied more product, but oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I like the look of it as well. I think it looks really smooth. Okay, so do you know what? Going forward, if I'm feeling lazy and if I just want quite a sheer coverage, quite a natural look, I think I will definitely use my fingers. But say if I'm filming a video, or if I just want a little bit more coverage, if it's the time of the month and I've got some spots going on, then yeah, I would definitely use a sponge. Why not? I just want to note that the sponge that I've used today, I didn't wet. It was still a tiny bit damp from when I used it last. I didn't wet it, and I don't know if that's made a difference. Maybe if the sponge was damper, it would have soaked in more of this product. But yeah, I mean, applied with a virtually, undamp sponge, I love the finish. I think this is great. So yeah, if you do not like to apply foundations with your fingers, please don't be put off this foundation because it goes on just beautifully with a sponge. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that, and I probably will do a little check-in maybe later just to let you know how day 2 of wear is going. But okay, so it's nearing the end of the second day of wear of this foundation. I've only worn her for about 6 hours today. The foundation once again is looking so beautiful. So I applied the foundation with a sponge this morning. I definitely did get higher coverage. I'd say this is definitely more of like a true medium. It does look right, and this is only a minimal kind of criticism, but it looks a slight bit heavier, just around my chin today where I do struggle with texture. It does look a tiny bit heavier, but not in a bad way. Believe me, almost every single foundation or base product that I've ever worn will always emphasize texture on my chin, and I must say that this one does it in the most graceful, least offensive way. Also, I do notice that after applying the foundation with a sponge, you can see more of my pores, but I think that that's just because it's created a fuller coverage and it's maybe emphasizing pores more. But do you know what? I don't care. I love the foundation. I love the finish. I love how comfortable it feels on my skin. If you're someone that really struggles with dry skin and you find that, a lot of foundations after you've applied them, they just make your skin feel dry, like your skin just cannot breathe. And, every time you smile, it's almost like you can feel like, oh my gosh, like it will be literally highlighting every single fine line in my whole face, and my whole face looks so dry and I look about 80 years old right now. If you have that issue, which I definitely do with a lot of other foundations, I think you need to try this one because it literally feels like a very comfortable hydrating moisturizer. Like, if anything, my face, I'd say, if I had to say, it feels a slight bit oily than dry, and that is actually a huge compliment coming from someone with dry skin. Oh, I love it. I just think my face looks like, yes, boosted, full of water. I mean, yes, it definitely does look like I drank all of the water ever. I mean, just to give you an example, and actually this is not directed towards you viewers, this is directed towards Urban Decay, not that they would ever watch the video, but just in case, I drink about 5 of these bottles a day, full of green tea or just full of water. I mean, I do. That's the kind of girl I am. So I just, honestly, can you tell I'm still feeling a little bit butthurt about that comment? I am probably just going to wear this foundation for one more day, and then I'll be, or maybe I won't, maybe I'll just come back and give you my final thoughts. But right now, this is my new favourite foundation. I love her. And I know a lot of people may ask, which one do I prefer, this one or my old trusty L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover? I think it's tough to answer because they're very different foundations, but I do think the Total Cover is definitely more for me. Like, if I'm going to a meeting, or if I don't know, if I want to look just the most made up, I'd probably go for that one, because to me it's like more of a formal foundation. It's very perfect looking foundation. But if I want like every day, just like my skin to look so healthy and glowing foundation, the one that I would wear would be this Urban Decay one, because, and I definitely prefer the finish of this Urban Decay one because it's just got a lot of life to it. It's got the glow and it just sits really beautifully on my skin. So yeah, I would definitely go for the Hydramaniac. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I am back to give you my final thoughts on the Hydramaniac foundation. I am pretty sure that you're probably going to know what I'm going to say here based on the last couple of check-ins, but I can confidently say that the Hydramaniac foundation is my new favourite. She makes my skin look and feel the way that I've always wanted it to look and feel when wearing a foundation. She makes my skin look just look so dewy, but at the same time she provides just enough coverage, like not too much, not too little, just the perfect amount. Feels so comfortable on the skin. She's very lightweight, but at the same time she does feel quite moisturizing. So for someone like me who struggles with dry skin, she is one of a kind, because I find that even like my very favorite L'Oreal Infallible foundation, even that foundation makes my skin feel dry, but I kind of just put up with it because I think, well, do you know what, it looks great, it lasts really well, so I don't mind my skin feeling dry. I just kind of thought, you know what, life isn't perfect, and you know, we always have to make compromises. However, when it comes to the Hydramaniac foundation, life can be perfect. I've realised, yes, you can have everything the way you want it to be at the same time. So I would definitely recommend this foundation if you've got dry skin. I think that you would really appreciate, you know, the hydration value that this product gives your skin. I don't know how she would complement oily skin types, because the reason why I love her so much is because she feels very hydrating on the skin. I don't quite know how that would work out if you do have oily skin. I could imagine potentially she might not be the best companion for oily skin. I'd say as well, don't buy her if you like her fuller coverage, because I think although you could kind of work her up to a fuller coverage, she definitely is geared to being a light to medium coverage. I have tested out applying her with a sponge, with my fingers. You can do both. You can do both at the same time. So even though Urban Decay do kind of recommend you use your fingers to apply, I've not seen any reason why you can't use a sponge. Like today, I started off with my fingers and then I just went in to refine everything with my sponge. And I think everything looks so good. My skin just looks full of life, healthy. It looks natural. It doesn't look like I've got a feck load of foundation or product on my skin. I've definitely found that since I've been wearing this foundation, I've actually used a lot less highlighter because I've just not needed to, because my skin just looks naturally glowy. So I've not got any highlighter on my forehead or on my chin. And can you just see the level of glow? Oh my gosh, like this is a dewy lover's dream. Also, I just want to mention that I have been using the Skin Paradise by L'Oreal. I was actually in the process of reviewing the L'Oreal when this arrived, and then I just kind of, I don't know, I just kind of scrapped this off and thought, right, I'm just going to focus on the Urban Decay for a bit, because after I tried her for that first time, I just kind of fell in love. I just wanted to mention as a bit of a comparison, and I will have a full review of the Skin Paradise coming soon, just as a bit of a comparison, because I do think that these two products are very similar indeed. If you maybe didn't want to spend the £29 on the Hydramaniac, you could definitely give the $8.99 L'Oreal. This is actually described as a tinted water cream, so it's not claiming to be a foundation. They both feel very similar on the skin in that they're both very hydrating, and they both look very similar in that they're both kind of like a dewy, glowy, radiant finish. The only difference is, as I said, this L'Oreal one does not claim to be a foundation. However, the coverage is pretty phenomenal considering it doesn't claim to be a foundation. I'd say that you can definitely get the same amount of coverage from both of these products, and really, I mean, there's not that much difference other than I say that the Hydramaniac clinches the top spot for me, because it definitely does just make your skin look that bit more radiant and dewy and glowy. And also the shade is a much better match for me in the Urban Decay. So I've got the shade Light in the tinted water cream, and this shade, it does oxidize a bit, and it definitely is a little bit too dark for me. So yeah, they're the reasons really why I do prefer the Hydramaniac, but both of these products are absolutely phenomenal, and I would definitely recommend that, you know, if you did want to get a beautiful base product that just leaves your skin feeling very hydrated, very moisturized, but also very dewy and glowy and natural looking, but just like you've drank a million glasses of water a day, honestly, then, you know, both of these are great. You've got a more affordable one and a little bit more of an expensive option here. If you are interested in learning a bit more about the Skin Paradise, I will have my review of this coming up in the next couple of weeks. Anyway guys, I'm going to go, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope that this was useful to you if you are interested in the Hydramaniac foundation. I honestly just feel like this is the foundation that I have been searching for all of my life. I'm going to go, but if I missed anything out, or if you've got any questions about this product, please feel free to ask me in the comments downstairs, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But with all that being said, I'm going to feck right off now. So I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, and I will see you in the next one.